can take this to the Russian.
Yes.
Japanese restaurant eat coffee.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Slava Ukraini.
Yoram Slava. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Good everybody. Ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля, згинуть наші вороженьки, як слава сонці, запанує ми, браття, у своїм дорозі. Душу тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Душу тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть ворогам!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Слава третє!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
And with me with that say, advance!
In a bit, Tommy. Hold on with that. We're gonna come to that very soon. We're gonna come to that very soon. Oh, this is actually pretty good. Maybe we can use the moment to, in a bit, you know, after we do some chanting and some speeches, we'll ask some people some questions
Yep.
about what they think about Azov
Yep.
and Azov style defenders.
Yep.
It's pretty good. We were asked about this. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Oh, they got some lights on. Look at that!
Oh, how sweet.
How'd you pay the electricity bill?
Oh man.
Do we go around the side to the front?
Yeah, let's stay around here, I guess. Yeah, look at the flag over there. Behind the tree.
Alright, just we'll stick it for dog shit.
Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Let's look for a good spot.
Okay.
Get used to it!
Okay, hold on. Let's see what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Popular section, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there another one?
I think that's it. We sometimes did some rallies, some protests in front of this embassy, and this was usually where we did it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Just,
Well, normally we was across the road.
There's two lots down there, but you can't get down there because the police got it blocked off. Because at the other end you've got the Israeli embassy.
Yeah, we got this CCTV camera above us, so I'm sort of, you know.
oh, lovely. That's nice. Hold on a second. All right. It's time we start. Let's go. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть Москва!
Україна!
Вона Руса!
Україна!
Вона Руса!
Україна!
Вона Руса!
Героям України тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Thank you, Nafo fellas, who came here today to show support for our Ukrainian cause and to show opposition to this Russian embassy right here, to the Muscovite embassy actually, as I hope it will be called in the future. If they actually use the real name of modern day Russia, which is Moscow. It's how they started, with Ivan the Terrible, and eventually decided to change the name to Россия, to identify themselves more with the Kievan Rus, which was their predecessor. And the Kievan Rus, as the name implies, had its capital in Kiev. So all of these points made by the Muscovites, by the Russian terrorist regime, are completely nullified by that fact. And Putin knows this, but truth does not matter to the Russian terrorist regime, my friends. And that is why we are here today. We are here to tell the truth to people all over the world, so that people know, so that people are well informed about the issue going on right now in Ukraine. This war that was not even declared, but was started anyway, without even a declaration of war. Keep in mind that before the Russians invaded Ukraine, they claimed that they would never invade. They screamed and shouted and called out supposed Western propaganda, as they call it. And they said they would never do it. They said that any mention that they might actually invade Ukraine was Western propaganda. But what happened in the end? In the end, they invaded anyway, my friends. And that is why we cannot trust the Russian terrorist regime. There have been many attempts of negotiating with them in the past. Every single one of those attempts has ended in failure. Ukraine needs to be secure from the Russian terrorist regime. And you know, one of those banners, that banner over there, is one of the best ways to secure Ukraine from the Russian terrorist regime. Not Nafo in particular, but Nafo is one of the organizations that is helping out Ukraine a lot. Thanks for that. But NATO itself, the organization on which we are based. Yeah. So here we are. Oh, look at that. Hold on. Put him to jail. Special tribunal now. That's pretty interesting. Send Putin to jail. Yeah, let's turn it the other way around though, guys, so that the cars see it, so everyone sees it, because like this only we will see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's lovely. That's a very good one, actually. Man, you guys really are missing out. You need to come to our rallies. This is really good. This is pretty good, man. Very professional work.
Orange is the red, is the new red, is the new one, blue and red.
Over here. Just here. Let's read the passage for all the people who want to come through. Because this message, as we all know, my friends, is important for everyone. Not just for Ukrainians, not just for Russians themselves, because they are getting sent as cannon fodder to Ukraine to fight a war they have nothing to do with. This is Putin's war, and Putin is using Russia as his personal meat puppet to send it against Ukraine. The Russians are cannibalizing their own economy right now to continue this war, to keep this war going. The world needs to know about this. And the world needs to know that we cannot trust the current Russian government. We have heard many times these voices of a peace, these voices of supposed peace. But in the end, they have given us no solutions to our problems. How will we achieve this peace? This peace that they claim is easy to achieve? By negotiating with Russia, by giving away Ukrainian territory to Russia. Has that not happened in the past? The Ukrainian people were willing of normalizing relations with the Russian terrorist regime even after Ukraine had already lost some regions to them after the 2014 invasion. But the Russians themselves have betrayed both the Minsk agreement and attacked the Ukrainian people again. This proves and this shows they will never stop until they are finally defeated in Ukraine. That is the only way for us to end this war once and for all. Stop Russia, stop the war!
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 Help Ukraine, protect peace!
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 Russia is a terrorist state!
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 There's an ancient saying that we very often say in our rallies at 10 Downing Street whenever they happen. Arms keep peace. What does this really mean? Does this mean that you build buildings and plow fields with swords and shields? No, my friends. It means you use those swords and shields, you use those air defense weapons, those fighter jets to defend yourself against attacks of psychopathic terrorist regimes who are there to take away everything from you. Just like the Russian terrorist regime is trying to take everything away from the Ukrainian people. That is what we must show the whole world. That is what's going on right now. And that is what we are going to stop together. The world needs to realize what's going on right now. Terrorist regimes like Russia, like North Korea, and like Iran are supporting their own proxies in order to attack the free world, in order to destabilize the free world, in order to end the dominance of the free world, the dominance of the West on this planet. We say no to that. Because people do not leave good countries to go live in worse countries. People do not move to a different country to be oppressed. And that is why so many people are trying to leave North Korea, Iran, and Russia nowadays. And so many people are failing because those countries are preventing their people from leaving and living better lives. That, my friends, is reality. And that is the reality we have to deal with. Because Russia is not an isolationist country. Russia is an expansionistic, country-sized military, in this case criminal syndicate.
Can I say something?
Go on, please.
I want to say that there is good and bad everywhere. And it's true. You know, there's a big war going on.
Absolutely.
You know, like, there's good and bad everywhere. And I don't like it when people talk about Russia as a whole, because you have loads of Russian people, in fact, most of them who disagree with the policy of Putin, etc.
That's all very well, but they don't do anything about it.
Hold on, let me finish.
And the thing is, you know, let's go for a peace. You know, let's go for peace all around the world.
Yeah, but how?
You know, like, you know, I was sitting just having a pint, and there was a girl next to me, and she was like, yeah, everybody hates me because I'm Jewish. Well, nobody needs to know you're Jewish, you know, just like I am Muslim. Nobody needs to know that I am Muslim, and then I am half Irish and half Moroccan and born and raised in France. So basically, you know, what I'm saying is, you know, I completely agree with you. Putin needs to be in prison. You know, because Putin is a criminal, and Putin is of the bad people. You know, there's good and bad everywhere, my guys.
Well, he's bad where it
so therefore, you know, like.
Hold on, my friend. You say you want peace, correct? You say you want peace. That's fine. We want peace. All the Ukrainian people wanted peace, but that peace was taken away from us by the Russian terrorist regime who attacked us and who removed that peace from Ukraine. How would you suggest that we return that peace to Ukraine?
Well, you know, like, just like I did not listen to everything you said.
That's okay. Don't worry. How would you bring peace back to Ukraine then?
The thing is, how can you bring peace to this world? I want to say it's Mission Impossible. Cool Tom Cruise. You know,
we need to call Tom Cruise to bring peace to Ukraine. Yeah,
because it is Mission Impossible. You know.
I mean, if we convince ourselves that it's truly impossible, then it will be impossible. When we give up, that's the moment that we lose.
I do agree with the fact that Putin needs to be in jail for a lifetime. You know, without discussion.
But how would you put him in jail?
Because he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yes.
You know, how can you bring so many people to war and kill each other, etc., 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 etc. You know, so, and it's the same thing for all those people who pretend to be Muslim and kill innocent people.
Ukraine didn't bring anybody warm. I was lying in my bed.
And it's the same for...
But my friend, we're talking here about solutions. We're not talking here about platitudes. We're not talking about here, oh, it would be great to have peace, blah, blah, blah. No, we're talking about specific solutions to end this war once and for all.
I want to stay positive, but unfortunately, it's gonna get worse and worse. But I do wish for peace.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
You can have peace. If
That's
you really
it.
want peace, you get out of your kin.
You're very welcome, you know, because you can't say Russians, 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 Russians,
Why not?
because it's only Putin.
Listen,
It's not only Putin.
And
It
the
absolutely
people
is not
that
only
follow him.
Putin.
listen.
My friend was tortured and starved in a prison. The fucking prison.
There's a lot of people following Putin. The Russian
I'm just
population
saying,
is responsible for this.
And the Russian soldiers beating a man to death
Yeah.
after
Tell
capture.
me how
There's
it negotiate with
many,
these guys.
many good Russian people.
Absolutely. There were many
It's like
good
there's
German
good
people in World War II.
And they did
It's like
nothing.
there's
A revolution.
Exactly. Exactly.
people,
But my friend, sometimes to prevent the greater evil from prevailing,
And,
good people suffer.
and yes,
And good people
yes,
are
like,
suffering in Ukraine right now.
Putin do deserve to be in jail,
Sure.
and he deserve even worse.
How are you going to do it? What's your solution? How are you going to
I
make
do
it?
not have one.
You don't have one. Okay, that's fine.
All I'm saying is,
Bro,
you know,
my bro, did you say you're
there's
part
good
Moroccan?
and bad everywhere.
Okay, so if you're part Moroccan, how did Morocco get its
Don't put
independence
the whole
from France?
country
Remind me. Was that
responsible
entirely violence free?
for one guy.
My friend, when the Nazis
That's
started
what I'm
World
saying.
War II, Germany was partitioned.
Because I
All of Germany suffered when they lost World War II.
Hold
Hold on. You cannot hold back your punches. You cannot hold back your punches
thing is,
when there's a psychopathic regime,
saw
when there's a
some
terrorist regime coming to kill you. You need to put them down for good. That's what you have to do. That's what we have to do with the Russian terrorist regime.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, there's many Russian people against.
But so what? Those people are
They
suffering
haven't
too.
done anything about it.
Some of them have, but those people are suffering. And also for their sake, we
So
stand here
instead of
to
saying
end
Russians,
Putin's rule. No, we won't stop saying Russians. Because Putin represents Russia. And the vast majority of Russians are depoliticized. They're not involved in politics.
You're talking about-
They're not
you're not
opposing
listening.
Putin.
You're
They're not
listening.
doing anything.
I was in Mariupol. And I didn't ask
My mum
200,000
works-
Russians
my
came
mum
across
works with the Ukraine.
200,000 Russians
My
came
mum
across the
works
border.
with-
I didn't ask them to come.
I understand.
If Putin
very
really
sorry.
wants peace, he can just.
That's okay, man. Look, we don't have to
But
keep saying I'm sorry or whatever. We need to give solutions. We need to come up with actual solutions to fix this issue, to stop this war, to end this conflict, to stop this issue.
All of them that get mobilised, yeah, if they don't want to fight, it's a
I'm not
$50
defending
fucking
them.
fine.
I'm
It's
not
3 months in
defending
jail.
them.
Yeah,
It's
well,
nothing. It's
until
dirt work,
here's
But what?
the
They
solution.
won't kill
Well,
Ukrainians, it's so difficult.
until Russians get rid of Putin. In the meantime, we cannot just wait for the next Russian revolution. We must arm Ukraine as you promised. Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Arm Ukraine, as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Arm Ukraine, as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Arm Ukraine, as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Ah, William, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. This is one of our regulars from the
I'm
rallies.
just saying,
This is Will, the quiet achiever.
this may not be the solution.
What this? What exactly do you mean by this?
To leave Russia, to leave Ukraine.
Well,
Like, by this, I mean,
Yeah, you're meant to be good little victims.
Yeah, just come and invade me. It's all good.
yeah.
So what if Russians,
I mean,
beated a prisoner of war to death? That's okay.
That's the
Torture all the
best
civilians.
way.
Yes,
And besides, what's his excuse? I sunk a bottle of wine before I came to this rally. I'm still lucid.
nobody's saying we should kill someone just because they're Russian.
No, and that's not what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
but what?
maybe it's gonna be Okay, I'm gonna speak in French. Peut-être que ça sera
My friend, we don't
mal
speak French.
interprété.
We can't understand the word.
Misunderstood.
Does anybody have an organizer?
We can't understand the word, man.
This is
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know if there's an organizer.
guys,
Yeah,
I'm with you.
that's okay. That's okay.
You know, like
Have a nice day, my friend.
I'm just saying.
No,
we're
just here.
You cannot just say Russians because
Because
Russia is a big country.
What we're doing is we're interacting with you.
it's fine.
It was organised online.
It's
Fantastic. How many people are signing up?
Probably
I can imagine many more.
Okay, fantastic.
Can't we convince them he's the organiser? That's all like
Hopefully, it's really important. Online new technology with anachronistic terminology.
That's more my language. Just make sure that people can get past.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
What's the point? Hold on, what just happened, guys? What?
He wanted to know
Which
who the
is why-
organizer is,
which
but I
is
said
why-
this gentleman is definitely disorganised.
I just told him it was
Names, did
impromptu.
Okay. Anyway, I wish you guys a very good
All
night.
the best.
And
All
I'm
the
very
best.
sorry.
That's alright, no problem.
but I
You don't have
trust
to
me.
apologize. You did
And
not
my
start the
mom-
war in Ukraine.
and my
The
mom-
Russian terrorist regime
My
did.
mom works with the Ukrainians, so you know, like
All right.
you have all my love. You know,
Cheers. Thank you very much.
And it's completely wrong.
Okay.
What is happening to your country?
Okay. Thank you.
You know, 100%. You know, like,
Thank you for your message. Thank you for your support. And
Donc,
good night.
en français, on dit force et honneur. Et je vous souhaite vraiment. de
Merci
sortir
beaucoup,
de
mon
cette
ami.
situation.
Merci beaucoup.
Voilà. Ça vous va?
Oui,
C'est bon?
ça va très bien, merci.
I think
Au revoir. Au
I think
revoir.
I've said
That's
everything
right.
right.
That's right. That's right.
Because like I am with the Ukraine
Where are those guys
people,
going?
obviously,
Don't know.
but you cannot put all the Russian people in the
Hold on,
same
I'm gonna
basket.
find out.
Right, they said 7:14, no standing protests in this area. So I said we're going to go at 7:30 anyway. But I don't think they're that worried about us at the moment. If they get a call from higher up, they will get us to move on.
That's okay. Not stress.
What did the police say?
The policeman said 7:14, we're not allowed to do a standing protest. And I
No,
said,
but the other one said it was all right.
huh?
The other one said it was all right.
Yeah.
The other one's one of these chaps that has a clipboard.
Lovely. Did you get both of them on camera, Ames? The one who was happy and the one who isn't? No?
Not
Neither.
really. I think I got one of them, but not the,
The
other.
one who's happy or the one who isn't?
The one that's a bit in a more cheerful mood.
The one who's happy. Okay, that's excellent.
Yeah, we may have to walk backwards and forwards a bit so that we're not.
So at least got on camera, one of them didn't have an issue and told us. Like, there was no problem. But he said as long as we don't block the road, like pavement, then there's a...
enemies. As long as people can get through.
Alright, so guys, let's get organized a bit better then. Let's go in two lines.
Yeah,
Let's go in
make
two
sure there's a
lines. And in the middle, let's leave a path for everyone who wants to go through. Oh, like these lovely doggies here. Look at these puppies. Oh, look at that. They're coming.
Hello. What's going on?
Oh no, he was just.
Okay.
It's down there that it's no static. We're okay here.
We're okay here.
But just make sure the pavement's clear.
There's no static process. But
Okay.
it's actually covering down there where we are,
Okay.
not up
So
here.
as long as we are like this,
No worries,
okay,
buddy.
okay.
Take care.
Here. Let's have. Well, where are the guys? Where are the guys with the big poster to jail Putin?
No, we're okay. All good. Down there.
Yeah, there it is. Let's get the posters out, guys. Let's get the posters out. Let's get the flags out. Let's get everything out. All right. Let's leave a free space here in the middle so that people have space to go through. Lovely stuff. All right. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's a good spot, Tommy. Just stand there. All right, and now that we're all organized,
Yeah.
I hope we are.
Right.
Let's say it together. Slava Ukraini! Slava nacії! Україна! 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 Героям України тричі! My friends, we stand here and we continue to stand here to send the world the message of the Ukrainian people who are fighting for freedom, not only in Ukraine, but in the whole world. If Ukraine falls, Moldova will be next. That is certainty. If Moldova falls, NATO will be next. Because if the West shows itself as toothless, if the West shows itself as powerless to stop the Russian terrorist regime in its war against the Ukrainian people, then there will be no limits to the Russian atrocities that they will commit all over the world. Not just in Ukraine, not just in Europe. Even now.
Everyone's got a good point. It's bad enough that 2 NATO members have already got tooth decay. Turkish and Hungarian tooth decay.
Well, in terms of Turkey, we have a difficult situation indeed. In terms of Hungary, it's a bit easier because Hungary is actually not that useful for NATO or for the EU in the first place. So it's very interesting to see the shill and the hypocrite, the Russophile, Putin's little shill here, Orban, to keep defending the Russian terrorist regime. It's very interesting to see that happen. He claims that Ukraine is not qualified to join the EU. But in reality, Hungary has been backtracking on a lot of different obligations that they have to do to be part of the EU. So who is really at odds with the EU in this case? My friends, Ukraine wants to be part of the free world. That is only not being allowed by the Russian terrorist regime. Russia is the country that fights for the enslavement of the many people who they claim to rule, of the many people who they claim have no history. The Russians have continued their rhetoric with Kazakhstan and with Belarus, same as they've been speaking about Ukraine. The Russians have claimed Ukraine has no history. The Russians have claimed Kazakhstan has no history. The Russians have claimed Belarus has no history. They have claimed every single one of those countries is merely a shadow of Russia, is merely an outbreak of the real Russian Empire. That is what they've been saying for generations now. This is not something that has started with Putin. This idea of Russification of the different populations that are subservient to Russia has been going on for a very long time indeed. Russia is not a politically and ideologically a European country. It is more akin to the Mongol Khanate because they see their people as a commodity, not as members of a country who they need to protect. That is how Russia sees the whole world, in fact. And if the Russian terrorist regime is allowed to expand, if it's allowed to take over more lands and more people, they will destroy and oppress those people also. That is certainty. They're doing it in sub-Saharan Africa right now, in their attempt of neo-colonialism, in Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Sudan. All of these countries have a very heavy presence of the heavy-handed Wagner group. And speaking of the Wagner group, this is something that we mention very often in our rallies. Yevgeny Prigozhin is the best example of a very stupid individual who thought that negotiating with Putin would be a great idea. He thought he could get away with his own personal ambitions and that Putin would allow him to keep at least some of those achievements that he has had through the years. But Prigozhin was wrong. He wanted to negotiate with Putin. He trusted Putin. But Putin stabbed him in the back at the first opportunity he got. The supposed settlement that he made with Putin, that supposedly Lukashenko was being the diplomat for, it broke down immediately. At the very first few days that Prigozhin came back to Russia, at the very first few days that Prigozhin wanted to actually expand his influence in Russia and to continue recruiting from the Wagner group, he got killed. That is the stupidity and the idiocy of these appeasers, of these Russophiles, of these individuals who claim that Russia wants peace, that we only have to talk with poor, innocent, prosecuted Russia, who supports terrorist organizations all over the world, who is in cahoots with Iran and North Korea, two other terrorist countries that are also waging their own terrorist wars. That is who we have to stop, my friends. North Korea, Russia, Iran are our immediate enemies. They have no questions about that. They don't have internal debates whether or not the West is their friend or foe. They do their absolute best to subvert the West and to level it with the ground, and then to move in and take over whatever ruins are left. That is how a terrorist regime behaves. They don't intend on bringing a better future for humanity or building up the earth, building up humanity to become better. They intend to be kings of ruins, a ruin of the size of the whole planet. That is what their ideology is. Arm Ukraine, as you promised.
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 Fighter jets for Ukraine.
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 Air defense 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 for Ukraine.
Air defense.
Those are the weapons that the Ukrainian people need to defend themselves against the Russian terrorist regime. That is what has been provided by some countries who understand the threat of the terrorist Russian regime. Countries like Poland, countries like Portugal, countries like the United Kingdom, who understand that Russia cannot be trusted, who understand that Russia needs to be opposed, not just in Ukraine, but in every country that they have a sphere of influence. That is what we have to do, because that is exactly what they're doing to us. They are trying to oppose the West at every front. They are trying to subvert the West at every front. That is what the Russian terrorist regime does. And it's not doing so for lofty ideals and liberal views. They're doing so for simple power. They want to achieve that power for their elites. That is the only thing that matters. Coming back to Prigozhin once again, he admitted that this war was never waged to save anyone. This war was never waged to free the Russian population from the evil Ukrainians. No, this war was waged with one purpose only: to enrich the Russian elites. And they have tried their best to do so. Heroям slava! So my friends, we stand here today, as we stood here many other days, in front of this Russian embassy with a Russian flag over there, with a red stripe in the bottom. A whole sea of blood that they are creating right now. Not just in Ukraine, mind you, but the biggest one is in Ukraine. So many people have died for a war started by a warmonger, my friends. That is not a good way for us to move into the future. We want a future with nuclear demilitarization, not with nuclear saber rattling, as Russia has been doing ever since the beginning of this war. And in fact, even before this war began, Russia was also occasionally doing these thinly veiled nuclear threats to the rest of the world. Not long ago, the CEO of RT said that the Russians should nuke Siberia to show the full might and the full power of the Russian nuclear arsenal, and to scare the West into submission, to scare the Ukrainians into submission. Of course, the people who live in Siberia were not happy And there was a big scandal because of this situation. They said, why should we get nuked? As these Muscovites live in their safe havens. There is a saying in Russia which goes like this: Moscow is not Russia. And it is true. I would even add to it, Moscow and St. Petersburg are not Russia. Those are the two cities to which all of the Russian money goes to. That is why those two cities are in fact not Russian cities, but European cities. The rest of Russia does not look like Europe. The rest of Russia looks like a third world country, my friends. And that is what we need to realize. Putin has not started this war to improve the quality of life of his people. He started this war to destroy the Ukrainian people and to enrich himself. Individuals with very, very fat pockets have a direct interest in attacking Ukraine and having Russia win this war. But we must know better than that. We must know that just like in World War II, to allow Hitler to take over Austria, to allow Hitler to start taking over Danzig, to allow Hitler to get cozy with the Soviet Union was a mistake. And in fact, Putin has claimed many times in the past that supposedly he's facing off against Nazis in this war. First point, Prigozhin said that they were fighting the Ukrainian military for years, and they still couldn't find these imaginary Nazis that the Russians were talking about for so long. Hey, Alexander, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. This gentleman here is one of our big supporters. He came to our rallies very often, and he even came to Speaker's Corner with us to face off against the opposition. And opposition there was a lot, because many individuals are still very misguided. They still think that this war can be ended like that, just with Ukraine suing for peace. Because of course, when one side starts a war, what you really want to do is to ask the victim, to ask the people who are getting attacked to end the war. How would that ever end? If Ukraine stops fighting, Ukraine ends. But if Russia stops fighting, this war will finally end. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. This war would end, and it could have ended long ago. But the Russian terrorist regime does not want to keep its promises. Ukraine was the third biggest nuclear power in the world. It had the third biggest nuclear arsenal. And Ukraine gave it all up in exchange of nothing more but the peace agreement from Russia. And what did Russia give Ukraine in return? Ukraine claimed, or rather Russia in this case, claimed that Ukraine was going to join NATO and put nukes at their border. What sense would that make? Ukraine had nuclear weapons. Do you give up the third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world just so that you get other nukes in your lands? Is that the logic that we're believing in here? Ukraine was giving up its military, its conventional military too. A lot of their bombers, a lot of their tanks, a lot of their planes were being dismantled. What did Russia think of that? Did Russia perhaps think to thank Ukraine for demilitarizing? Or did Russia start making preparations to invade Ukraine and destroy the Ukrainian people when they had willingly weakened themselves in order to achieve world peace? And world peace, as a lofty ideal, it can sometimes be seen as impossible. And perhaps it is. But if we unite against terrorist regimes such as Russia, North Korea and Iran, we will be able to oppose these terrible precedents that these countries have. Russia is a terrorist state. Come back, don't run away. Hey! Hit and run. It's a goodwill gesture. It's a goodwill gesture. Look, it's a goodwill. Thank you. Hey, he said the joke. You know, very good one, my friend. Very good one. That's a goodwill gesture right there, as the Russians have said it. We've said this before in our rallies. But if you keep negotiating with psychopaths, if you give a psychopath half of what he wants, he's going to be unhappy. He's going to be wanting all of it. If you give him 1/4, he's going to be even more unhappy. He's going to be saying he's getting cheated. But if you give a psychopathic regime like Russia everything that they want, with no strings attached, they will take it and then they will demand the double. That is what happens with these regimes. Give them an inch and they will take a mile. This is always how it has been with Hitler, with Putin, with Stalin, with all of these psychopaths in charge of countries. That is why we cannot simply stand aside and forget who the leader of this powerful country or that powerful country is. Because one day we could become the victims of their psychopathic rules. Help Ukraine, protect peace.
Help Ukraine, protect peace. Protect peace.
Help Ukraine, protect peace.
Help Ukraine, protect peace.
World, wake up.
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 All together, we will win.
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 It's very funny to sometimes see hecklers shout something at us and run away. It's always very funny. I personally... Tommy, leave them. They can't even hear you anymore. And even if they could, you know, they would either start cursing at us or they would just run away. Those are the two options. Those are the two options. Exactly. One of two options that our opposition has to offer. They never engage with us in a straightforward debate. We have tried to debate with the Stop the War coalition, who claims to want to stop the war in Ukraine. But when asked what their solutions are, they had none. The only solution they have to offer is that Ukraine does all the concessions and Russia gets all the gains. Why? Why should Russia get to decide what a sovereign country does? Why should Russia get to decide what Ukraine, Kazakhstan or Belarus does? Because of security concerns, they say. What security concerns? Russia was invited to NATO themselves. They could have joined. Before Putin, there were conversations of Russia joining NATO, of Russia joining the EU. But Putin said no. Because Putin, he doesn't want cooperation. He doesn't want equal rights with other countries. Putin wants to be the master, with everybody else as his slave. That is the only solution that Putin wanted for this war. And some people sometimes come to us and say, well, you should not call Russia a terrorist state because hashtag not all Russians. Well, my friends, hashtag not all does not work when your country remains silent until it's getting recruited for war, until it's getting mobilized. Then they start not liking what's going on. Then they start fleeing the country. Only when their own safety is at risk.
Well, we had the same argument tonight. For those of us who wasn't here, we had an argument, not all Russians, from someone who was, how we say, not all there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Russia is a deeply depoliticized country. Vast majority of Russians don't know and don't care until something happens to them personally. It's as the saying goes, no fire is too hot until it's your hide that's burning. That is what we can see in Russia, my friends. That is what we unfortunately can see with some ignorant individuals all over the world who claim that whatever happens in other countries does not concern them. These isolationists, they have no future. Isolationism is a stillborn ideology. The world is becoming more united with the many different international rules and laws that are being formed. These bonds, they're important because no country can prosper completely isolated from the rest of the world, not even Russia, with all of their impressive natural resources. Why is it that Russia, one of the countries with the most natural resources, has an economy of the size of Italy? A country that, although a civilized and an important country, is not well known for being particularly rich. Why is it that Russia, the self-proclaimed world superpower, can't even provide a good quality of life for their own people? Well, my friends, the answer is obvious. It's because they do not want to. To provide a good quality of life for their people is not a priority. In fact, it's as far from a priority as it gets. The Russians would rather build more tanks to destroy Ukraine than build a hospital for their own people. That is their mentality. And it's actually a popular joke in the post-Soviet Union countries, with all of these babushkas who sympathize with the Soviet Union saying, oh, you know, we don't have the hospital we need, but at least Putin got a few more tanks that he can parade through Kremlin. Well, in the last parade on the Victory Day that the Russians have done in Kremlin, only one tank was visible. And it was not even one of the best tanks, my friends. Russia is running on fumes right now. We must strike the iron while it's hot. We have to do something about this situation. Jesus has nothing against Ukraine, I'm sure. So I'm not sure why it's important to interrupt a speech about Ukraine with Jesus. I don't think the two topics are contradictory. We have nothing against Jesus, and I'm sure Jesus would have nothing against us. But my friends, we have to keep in mind that every single one of us is able to send this message. Every single one of us should be able to tell the world why we stand here and why we support Ukraine no matter what. Why it's important for everybody in the world to oppose the terrorist Russian regime. Why everybody has skin in this game. That is why, if any of you, my friends, want to do a speech of your own here, right now, or in one of our rallies, you will always be welcome to do so too. Because we have many people who have a lot of things to say, but we don't have a lot of time to say those things. We must be able, and we must have the willpower and the courage to go ahead and speak to the whole world, my friends, because we have the knowledge. Every single one of you has the knowledge. We are here together to show our support for Ukraine. And this is, in the end, a team effort. We all in this together, my friends. So because of that, thank you very much. Wasn't expecting the clapping now, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it when it comes. So once again, my friends, you know, whoever wants to do a speech of their own, you're welcome to do so too. Not only because you can, not only because you should, but also because my voice is getting a little bit weak right now, and I need to have some water, my friends. So, Tommy, you wanna say something yourself? Yeah, that's gonna encourage more people to do it. Let's go, Tommy. Let's go.
So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing, I mean, yeah, I'm not as good a speaker as Pablo, but...
Loud and clear, Tommy!
Yeah, loud and clear, yes, I'm trying to be loud.
Loud and clear as air defense for Ukraine!
Yes, loud as clear as air defense!
For Ukraine!
For Ukraine, yes, but like I said, so we have to consistently ignore these calls for so-called negotiations. I say there is nothing to negotiate. We must continue to campaign and agitate and do what we can for a total victory for Ukraine. Not let Russia 1 millimeter of Ukrainian territory. All I can say. So hopefully, with the for those who know me with my two flags, hopefully with.
Three flags. There's a third one over there.
Yes, my tally. Yes, a flag of a country that I care about very much is based on a talent as well as a star. So yes, in fact, that yes, it is three flags. But with any luck, you know, we need to continue agitating. We need to continue campaigning. We need to highlight the what needs to be done. And hopefully, yes, that Russia will be defeated in Ukraine. This could lead to freedom for Belarus, and as well, and this could permanently humble Russia. Because, like I said, I mean, Russia may have pretensions to power. It may only understand the language of power, but that is a misnomer. It is not as powerful as it may seem. It is big on a map claims to be, and nothing more. As I tried to explain to the organisers of the regular rallies, just because you understand power does not make you power. It's the same as the same as, yes, you can watch the DVDs and see Arnold Schwarzenegger saying "Ja, Vernus." It does not give you biceps. So at the same time, we must continue agitating for sanctions. We must continue doing what we are doing. My main concern is, if anybody knows anybody in the United States, all right, I won't lie to you. I am concerned that the new Russian offensive will not be in Donbass or the Crimea or in Bakhmut. It'll be at the Republican National Convention.
That's right.
Yeah.
In The Hague.
Yeah. In The Hague. Yes. You put him on trial in The Hague, and then put him in a prison cell in Kiev, in a blue and yellow prison
that's a good
cell.
one. Putin on trial.
Putin on trial.
Putin on trial.
Putin on trial.
And now I have a favour to ask of all of you. Hopefully, when he is on trial in The Hague, I'm going to hold you to something. When he's on trial in The Hague, we'll be out there outside the courtroom, and we'll be saying, "No parole for Putin. No parole for Putin." I want to say that. That chant, but I can't do it without you. So, do we say it yet? No parole for Putin.
Let's go.
No parole for Putin. No parole for Putin.
No parole for Putin. No parole for Putin.
Okay,
No parole for Putin.
like I said, so yeah, there's just this show on orange is the new black, but for you, orange will be always your blue and yellow prison cell. A few weeks ago, like I said, I kept going on and on about Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. All right, I don't think it brings things into it. Now, for me, the difference between this what we must make a reality. We must make a reality. For me, Yom Kippur comes once a year. Put Putin on trial, put him in jail for the rest of his life, and you can have Yom Kippur every day for the rest of your life.
Hey, Tommy, I'm afraid that Putin over there won't hear it. In fact, even the real life Putin would probably not hear it. He's senile in the end. So, who wants to go next, my friends? Yeah, let's.
I'm Alex, aka
Slava Alex.
another fella online.
Yeah.
So it's great to see a bunch of other fellas here, because we're also our own little community. And I think Tommy had a really good point. The next battlefield, or one of the critical battlefields, is going to be the information space. Russia know they cannot sustain this against the combined might of the industrial military complex of the West. The asymmetry in our capabilities is just comical. So the only way that they have any tangible way of winning,
General Musk,
is the information war, and that is where we do our little bit to fight. So we're not in the trenches suffering cold like those brave Ukrainians defending our homeland. But at the same time, there are days when I feel down and I feel sad, and it's okay. It drains on us, but we're a community, and I see a lot of new faces here, and that's wonderful. But I also see a lot of familiar faces, and that's also wonderful. And I think it'd be great. I know a lot of us reach out to each other online, but it'd be great if we could also see each other more often. And something I would suggest for you, which I has found has helped me, is I join the Ukraine Hub rallies. Because I hear them talk, I hear Pavlo and many others talk, and when I feel down about why am I going online, or why am I going into Truth Social and dealing with maggots, it gives me a reminder of why I'm doing it. We need to help them win this information war, because that will keep their troops supplied, and that will drain the Russia's troops from their supply. So I just want to say thanks for everyone coming out here. I hope to be able to have like a beer or a soft drink or whatever later. And hopefully for those, this is the first time I've seen you. I sincerely hope it's not the last time I see you.
See you again tomorrow. Be there tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon, opposite the Downing Street gates.
If you can do that's great, but yeah, let's fight. We are a community. Let's try and support each other so that we can better support Ukraine. And if you want a bit of motivation, just turn up and see these people, hear about the stories.
Let's keep being one.
Yeah, about losing, when you hear these stories about them losing their family members, about their cousins who are engineers who are now being trained to go into combat. those little stories, those bits of information, those are the things that give me the motivation to keep going onto Truth Social, going into Vatnik spaces and dealing with that. But it's what we can do. We get to go home to our comfortable beds. The soldiers of the AFD don't. But I know it's still tough at times, but if you need a hand to pick yourself up, don't be afraid to reach out, whether it's online or just, if you come along to a rally on a Saturday, you'll probably see me or Ams or Tommy or Pavlo. You know, just come and have a chat, or just come and know that there'll be someone to stand next to you. Because we know that you're there for Ukraine, but at the same time I've also seen that Ukrainians will come and be here for us. So yeah, thanks for your time, and hopefully Pavlo's getting his voice back soon.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you very much. I do have my voice back, my friends, but I have something important to say, and it's reminiscent to what Alex just said. If any of you, my friends, want to say a few words yourself, you know, please come here and do so. We always welcome people who want to send this message themselves. Wait, was that the thumbs up or the middle finger?
Thumbs up and a whistle.
Okay, cool. Because in this darkness, it's difficult to see. You know, sometimes we get support. Usually, we get support in these situations. Usually, people pass by and say, "Yeah, Slava Ukraini," or they clap, or they say something in support. But my favorites, honestly, is when they say something to heckle us, like "Ooh, Slava Putin, Slava России," something like that. There was one particularly interesting situation where there was a different rally that shall not be named because I do not try to. To oppose directly these other rallies. But everybody knows what rally it was. Everybody probably knows what kind of rally it most likely was. No, it was actually a different one. But the Pigpen, I can mention the Pigpen. There was a group of people at 10 Downing Street who basically camped there. They lived their whole lives there at 10 Downing Street. I'm not joking. You know, they set up a tent, they slept there, and they lived there. And I heard, this is something that was told to me, I heard that every single week they would get a little thick envelope given to them by someone in a very nice, who was very nicely dressed and with a little bit of a Russian accent. But this is just something that I have heard. This is not something that I will immediately go with. But truth of the matter is, my friends, that the Russian terrorist regime is pouring a lot of money into their propaganda to try to brainwash people all over the earth. They are trying to get the people who might be susceptible to this kind of propaganda, who might believe in it. That is why a lot of the people who come to heckle us, unfortunately, have mental issues, and it's nothing to laugh about. It's a very, very, very low blow that the Russian terrorist regime is doing. They're doing this propaganda that targets particular people, specific people who might have some kind of an issue, who might feel disenfranchised.
You mentioned, what was this other rally?
It was the pro-Palestinian rally, Tommy.
Oh, the pro.
Yes. They were there on the opposite. There we go. Now I've done the provocation.
No,
I can go home now. You know, my friends, I'm saying this because I've been asked by our organizers not to provoke the people from the other rallies, and it's obvious we don't want to provoke them. No, it was a while ago. It was some Russian dude who was in the center of them. What a surprise, right? You know, Russians sympathizing with Hamas. Very, very interesting coincidence there. But this individual, he came out when I was talking about the different terrorist organizations and how Russia was a terrorist state, and he shouted, "Великий Советский Союз!"
Oh, him!
Yes, which in translation means the Great Soviet Union. And then he ran away back into the crowd. And it's very funny, because I would love to engage with these individuals. In fact, I have engaged with some of these individuals in the past. Many of us have. Tommy has. Many people who came with us to the park have. Ames has, to an extent. She sometimes tells them off for saying some very silly things.
Because last night they asked us to delay our rally for to give sympathy and attention.
Oh, that was a funny one.
Attention for them. Now, there's an old Yiddish expression. They might be intent on my destruction. But let me tell you, last night they certainly have chutzpah.
They certainly had what, sorry?
Chutzpah.
Chutzpah, what is that?
Gall, you know, hide, you know what I mean?
Ah, okay. Well, Tommy, not everybody speaks Yiddish, my friend. Not everybody will get it.
But enough people
You gotta translate it for us. You gotta translate it for us
I mean,
because
they've got some hide. You know, they want to kill me. They want to destroy a country that would be a place of safety for me. Even though a lot of them are so thick, and I've got it online proof. Some of them, when they say from the river to the sea, they don't even. A lot of them don't even know what they're talking about. But last night, they came to Pablo and asked for sympathy. Oh, we're on the side of humanity.
oh, absolutely. That's what they said. And you know, they asked us for 20 minutes from our rally. And you know, we gave them the 20 minutes. We allowed them to have those 20 minutes to save the lives of those who have died, of the doctors who died in the Gaza Strip. We allowed them to do so. We gave away time of our rally, which, by the way, we have a limited time ourselves to be there at 10 Downing Street. When those 10 minutes had come to an end, they did not stop. So I went to them myself and I asked them, how much longer is this going to last? They'd give me a two-faced answer. They didn't give me a clear time. So I told them, okay, my friends, we will start at 7. Make sure you finish before that time. They appreciated it, and then they asked us to provide them with our sound system. Now that's what just killed it for me. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to laugh or to curse at them. But I contained myself and I simply said that no, we can't give you our sound system. It will take too long to carry it from one side to the other. Which it would. Oh, they wanted the whole sound system because apparently they didn't have the microphones and the columns.
What,
my friends,
from the rivers to the sea, your sound system will be free. Yes, well, since we couldn't say anything Ukrainian whilst they were
something like that.
So I had to go and I had to make the best use of my time by singing Hatikva.
Something like that. Something like that. But some of our biggest hackers are the people who believe in conspiracy theories the most. The sort of people who believe that the earth is flat. That kind of person. Those are the people, the backbone, the hardcore defendants of Putin. And somehow they convince themselves that Putin is a defender of Christian values. Because of course, nothing defends Christian values more than declaring a war against another Christian country. That truly proves the Christianity of the terrorist Russian regime. And Putin, keep in mind, is the same man who said that the collapse of the Soviet Union was the greatest catastrophe of the 20th century. His words. I'm quoting him right now, my friends. What was one of the many things the Soviet Union was infamous for? Religious prosecution. Not only against Christians, not only against Muslims, not only against Jews, against all religions. But somehow, these nutcases, these idiotic people, make this conclusion in their small-brained heads that somehow Putin is the representative of their own ideologies, of the Christian values. It would be very interesting to see them go to Russia and live among the Russians who live in very terrible and miserable lives. Very low quality of life, keep in mind. As we have said before, Russia does not include Moscow and St. Petersburg in terms of the quality of life. Russia is away of those countries because those countries are European countries. Those cities. I apologize. Small mistake, my friends. I hope nobody will clip it. Although, in the rally that we've had against the conspiracy theorists, there was one very funny individual who I've met today. So I have this puppy right here. And all the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian community believes that it's very important to support the British culture and the British people, as the British people have supported us through this war, and we are very grateful for that. It's important for us to show our support for this country also. And when I went there, I've met a certain individual who acted like he didn't recognize me. It was an individual who went to the conspiracy theory rally, and he filmed a little TikTok video with me in the background as I was debating with one of their leaders. And he continued to speak to the camera. Oh, but this guy, why is he here? Why is he talking to us? Why doesn't he go to Ukraine to fight? First things first, it's very interesting that not a single pro-Ukrainian person who I've ever met, or who any of us have met, have ever made the point of, wow, why aren't you in Ukraine fighting? Secondly of all, if every single man, woman and child of Ukrainian blood went to Ukraine, we would still be outnumbered by the Russians. And if every single one of us went there and picked up a gun, Ukraine would still lose. If Ukraine did not get the weapons that Ukraine needs to win this war. The Ukrainian people are not throwing their own as cannon fodder with a brick on their hand, just like the Soviets were doing. That is what the Russian terrorist regime is doing, my friends. When they were taking Bakhmut, they were sending hordes of prisoners against the Ukrainian defenses. Prigozhin famously was recruiting from Russian prisons. The lowest scum of Russia, given a gun and sent forward to Ukraine. That is what the Russian terrorist regime used to do. That is what they are still doing right now, although under wraps. Now the Wagner Group exists as a mere fragment of the Russian military because they got too big for their own shoes. Prigozhin had bigger ambitions than what Putin was willing to give him, and that is why Putin put him down. Not for the crimes that Prigozhin had committed. Putin had praised those. In fact, after Prigozhin died, Putin has made a point of supporting Prigozhin's actions in Ukraine against the Ukrainian people. He made a point of supporting every single war crime Prigozhin has committed. He said Prigozhin did a great job in Ukraine, waging his genocidal war. Well, obviously, he did not use those words. Putin still refuses to admit that this war is a war. But we can all read between the lines, and we can all see that the real point of this war was never to liberate or to save anybody. The real point was to destroy Ukraine as a separate entity from Russia, to destroy the Ukrainian people, to destroy the Ukrainian language, the Ukrainian culture, and if necessary, to annihilate the Ukrainian ethnicity itself.
And enrich Russian elites.
Absolutely. All that so that the Russian elites would be enriched. Absolutely. Just as Prigozhin said so himself. Unfortunately, for a long time, the Holodomor was not recognized as genocide. But I believe around a year ago, it has been recognized at last as a genocide by this country. And we're grateful for that. It's very important to tell the truth in these situations. We must call the spade a spade, my friends. We have to see things how they are. We have to see reality as it is, not as what we want it to be. That is what we have to achieve with our actions. Because if every single person on earth does something to finally end this war, to stop the Russian terrorist regime, then they will stand no chance whatsoever. But if the billions of people who live on this earth and who want to live a better future do nothing, then nothing will ever change. Nothing will ever improve. And it will never matter how many people have good intentions, how many people have silent support. We all must act. We all must do our part. And something very important that has to do with that is that we all must speak to the leaders of our countries. We all must influence politics as much as we can, every single one of us. Send emails to your local MPs. Remind the people around you that the war is not over. This battle is not over. And Russia will not stop until it is stopped for good. Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia, stop the war. Stop Russia. Arm Ukraine.
Self-defense is no offense. Arm Ukraine.
More sanctions on Russia.
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 And Tommy's favorite. Freeze Russian assets.
Off!
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 He does this very often, you know, he makes some very funny interactions in our rallies. All of you guys can see so for yourself. And I would like to dedicate this little moment here to inform all of you guys about our rallies. I see some people who come to our rallies often and regularly, who are here right now. So they don't need to be informed, they already know about all of this stuff.
Sorry, have a look. While we're here, let's point out things and say, you are a terrorist state! 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 You are a terrorist state!
That's a good one, Tommy. We'll keep that in mind, you know. But unfortunately, we can only make that joke when we're near the Russian embassy.
That's why I made it.
Just a quick question. Has anyone got a permanent marker? Because apparently the Ukrainians are really good at using our Storm Shadow missiles to disassemble their submarines and their helicopters. So hopefully if we give them some kits, they can practice reassembling them so they can get their shit out of Ukraine. So if anyone's got a marker pen that I can write that on there, that'd be great. Otherwise I'm going to have to go get a marker pen and maybe some bin bags to package up the rest of their crap.
Oh, I love that. Are those puzzles?
Yeah, so the little kits, so they can practice reassembling the submarine, the Kilo submarine that Storm Shadow blew up. Oh, perfect. And yeah, apparently Storm Shadows are really good at disassembling helicopters too. So yeah, hopefully they can figure out how to put them back together.
Oh, speaking of which, speaking of the Storm Shadows, but I'll talk about them in just a second. But before that, I'd like to inform...
I'm going to get some bin bags.
No worry. Oh, you know, I need to mention this. There was a guy in Speaker's Corner who came to me saying, by the way, he opposes Ukraine. He's a jihadi. You know, the Ukrainians are running low on bags, on body bags for their dead. Ukrainians have just bought 1 million body bags. What do you think of that? To which I answered, well, of course the Ukrainians are buying body bags. The Russians refuse to bury their dead.
Yes.
He actually liked that one. He actually liked that one.
He has to go get some bin bags because you're such a rubbish country. You haven't even got enough bins.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Or toilets.
Or toilets, man. I'm being postponed a lot with this message, but these are some very good points here.
You have to. Look how big that country is, how many rivers, how many coastlines, how much snow, how much ice, and how many people don't have running water, how many people don't get to the Kazi because they can even bugger that up. But like I said, you don't even have enough bins, and you are a terrorist state.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the
What's the Russian word for pathetic? Russia.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you. Okay, now for the actual point, my friends. There is, if anyone here has Instagram, check out the group of our, of our support community. It's called Support Ukraine London on Instagram. We have all the information there. Support Ukraine London on Instagram. Our rallies happen on 10 Downing Street every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, every Friday at 6 o'clock, and every Sunday at 3 o'clock. So please come and show your support. Tomorrow, by the way, we're going to have a rally at 3 o'clock in 10 Downing Street. We're going to focus this rally on Remembrance Day and honoring the people who have died so that we would have the freedom we have nowadays, the freedom and the prosperity, and so that we would be able to hope for a better future. But if we allow the Russian terrorist regime to win, there is not going to be any future for anybody on earth. There will be.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. Such nice guys. But my friends, I hope this message is clear. You know, every single one of us can send this message. Not only the speakers of our rallies, but every one of us. And everybody should be sending this message in whatever way they can. Everybody should send the message of the Ukrainian people that Russia has started this war. Russia has escalated this war. And the only way to stop this war is to stop Russia. Stop Russia, stop the war. Stop Russia, stop the war. Stop Russia, stop the war.
We'll lose this war.
Tommy, not in the middle of the chant, man.
He's getting really excited.
Last chant, and then I'll give word to Tommy. But speaking of which, you know, let this be an example for all of you guys. If you want, you can come here and speak yourself, like Tommy does. You know, he does a good job, right? Stop Russia, stop the war.
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 Help Ukraine, protect peace.
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 Russia is a terrorist state.
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 By the way, for anyone watching the video later on, when Tommy says you, he's not pointing at us, he's pointing over there. Just for any misconceptions. Let's go, Tommy. Come on, man. Go get him, Tiger.
Okay, yes, so yeah, you are a terrorist state. So yes, so writing to your MPs, yes, maintaining the pressure. There's other things we can do as well. So we also have to scrutinise and to make sure that that anything we buy, anything we trade, is not still doing business in Russia. All right. Whether or not you drink Pepsi or eat Burger King is beside the point. That there are rumours that they may still be
Unilever.
Or Unilever. Unilever make a large amount of products. I won't go into all their products. I'm not going to give them free advertising. So look for yourself the products that Unilever made and do not buy from them. You know, hit them with the hip pocket. Needless to say, that is something else we can do, and you can tell others. So all I'll say is, look up Unilever, look at what they make, and look at what they sell, and do not buy from them. Do not buy from them. Do not buy from any country. Do not buy from any company that maybe seek for yourself. Make sure. Unfortunately, we live in a cynical world where, sadly, if the situation continues, Russia may well be counting on creeping. We have to fight creeping re-acceptance of Russia. Oh well. But we may as well go back to Russia. We may well continue to trade there, send flights back, send cruise ships back. This is something we have to highlight, safeguard, make sure doesn't happen. But at the same time, tell yourselves, your friends, loved ones. Again, I'm not going to give Unilever products free advertising, but look up Unilever online and know not what to buy. Like I said, so again, since we're outside the Russian embassy, no trade with Russia, no trade with you. No trade with Russia, no trade with you. No trade with Russia, no trade with Russia, no trade with Russia, no trade with you. Yes, it's ironic. They hate the West, but at the same time, they hate the West until they want to come here. They hate the economic system, but they still depend on it. It's a very self-serving hatred, and we must maintain the pressure. Thank you. So, if anyone else would like to say something, please, before I dig myself into an even deeper hole. But again, we're saying no trade with Russia. No trade with Russia. No trade with Russia. No trade.
Find a bottle of that shit, but I couldn't find one in time.
We got a lovely message here.
Trade with Russia.
Who's next, my friends? Who wants to go next?
Yeah, my hands are shaking, so the writing's a bit terrible. Should have worn some warmer clothes.
Yeah, I've got it on camera.
exploiting it, but until they're ready, until we're ready, we'll just start some chants. All together, we will win.
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 And remember, being big on a map does not make you invincible.
Yeah, it's as the saying goes, you're big, but you're not a big deal. You know, it's this. Oh, careful with that. Hey, that sank quicker than the Moskva battleship.
Moskva, it's the name of a new reef in the Black Sea, the Moskva. Yes.
Oh no, it didn't sink. It was promoted to submarine.
It's interesting, there were a lot more windows with lights when we came up here, I think. Or maybe I'm mistaken, who knows? Well, at least we can have the happy thought that there are some people over there listening to all of this. That should be.
And crying.
That's
Yeah, maybe they're well, you know, when you see North Korea from space and you see no lights, that's what they're trying to copy in tribute to their new friends in Pyongyang with no lights at night.
Alex has finished his gift. CIA, yes.
Oh no.
Hold on, let me help you.
Should have got some solid duct tape.
Oh, God damn it.
Okay, so I'll read this for all of you guys to know. Hold on, let me actually read it. Let me read it real quick. This is pretty good stuff. This is good material.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it won't
We heard.
go get some
Hold on.
Well, no, I could just stand there looking like a dwarf and hold it up.
Hold on, no, Tommy, don't do that. We heard our storm shadows keep disassembling your helicopters and submarines. Please practice cleaning your shit up with these kits so you can get them the fuck out of Ukraine. Regards, #Nafo. And P.S. Have some bin bags to pack up your shit soldiers in quotation marks for Nafo. That's right. Author Alex.
Yeah, which reminds me of a 10
Hold
point.
on, Alex. I think I know what we can do.
Is there any way we can maybe do a lift so it's just like hanging over us?
So actually, it's possible to just push it underneath if
Or
you
maybe
want to
just
do
put it on the corners.
It's in Russia now. It's in Russia now.
Oh wait! Look at
It's
this.
in Russia now.
Oh, perfect.
Where's the get it back. Get it back from Russia.
Oh God.
Because the first time these guys are gonna see it, they're gonna get triggered and bitten.
They have bin bags.
Oh yeah, here's some bin
They
bags.
haven't got enough. They haven't got enough of their own bins.
Hold on, where should I put the bin bags? Suggestions, guys, suggestions about
Putin's
the bin
head.
bags.
Oh, there must be a
No,
bit.
not behind. They need to be visible. Gonna hold it. Hold on. Oh wait! I just got an interesting idea. Maybe we could stick it on one of the
spikes.
spikes. Okay, who's light here? Who's light here? Who is light?
Well, I'm very strong.
I can do a light up. Okay, hold on. You hold this. Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
And while we're here, because the Russians can't count, here is a 10-point peace plan for Ukraine. Russia, get the fuck out of Ukraine. 1.
That's a bit long.
Get out of Russia. Get out of Ukraine. 3.
Russia, go home.
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 More sanctions on Russia.
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 Yeah, there's not enough sanctions, but remember, they call themselves a power, but they need bins to be donated to them.
Oh yeah.
Some power.
Some power indeed. Maybe we should donate some toilets too, as this lady said a while ago. It was a very good remark, by the way. I've never seen a military ransack a city and steal the toilets from that city. I've never seen such a thing before. Even ISIS. I have not seen ISIS fighters do this. But for the Russians, it's normal. I mean, I guess there's a shortage of toilets in Russia.
Well, they stole my toilet here on the 24th. No, not joking. Did you see the toilet?
Oh.
Yeah, that was my toilet. They stole my toilet.
Oh, I remember that. That was actually viral. That actually went viral, you know. Well, it was a little toilet that someone donated here, and now we know who it was. Well done, Alexander. Well done. Yeah, we all have our part to play. Some of us come to the rallies. Some of us donate. Some of us bring toilets to the Russian embassy. we all have our part to play, my friends. And every single little bit helps. So thank you very much for coming here today. And you know, as we all know, everybody is welcome to come here and show their support to the Ukrainian cause. Because this situation will not solve itself. It will not sort itself out. We can't just keep waiting that something is gonna happen. We can't hope for the inadequacies of our enemies to result in their defeat. We have to give them some help in failing without just actually hoping for them to fail. That is the reality of this situation. That is the reality in all situations where we are at war. And make no mistake, Russia is in an ideological war right now with the West. They're using every dirty trick they can to try to destabilize the West from within. They're using every dirty trick they have to try to destabilize and destroy every country that opposes them, to subvert them. There we go. Get a good picture. Get a good picture. Make sure you get the bin bag over there on top.
Actually, can we get a Nafo flag in there? Anyone got one apart from me?
This is actually pretty good.
Can we get the Nafo flag maybe? I'm just on the side.
Yeah, let's get the Nafo flag. Let's get the Nafo flag around here. CIA and Nafo.
I want to put this on the plaque.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks pretty good.
That's a statement. The other one is a donation.
Helen was here.
Cheers, guys.
It is. But you know what's even funnier than this? The actual points that the Russians and the Russophiles give us when we engage with them. That is the real comedy, my friends. Unfortunately, at this moment, Speaker's Corner is kind of pointless to go there after our usual rally at 3. So we usually don't go to Speaker's Corner itself because it gets dark. But if we went there earlier, we would find a lot of Russophiles and a lot of shills for Russia. One of them was Stalin. And we have a lot of videos of him. Now, keep in mind, it's not the actual Stalin, obviously. It's not the real Stalin.
And Red
but
Cap
it's
Boy.
Oh, Red Cap Boy. I love Red Cap Boy.
I hate Red Cap Boy. How I saved his life?
Too kind, Tommy. You're too kind. But Stalin is this individual from Iran who has a mustache and a haircut just exactly like Joseph Stalin himself. So obviously, he's a big fanboy. But my friends, I have a question to you. Why is it that somebody who's a big fan of Hitler and who would come with a haircut and a mustache just like Hitler's would get the disdain and the disrespect that they deserve, but somebody doing the same thing but for Stalin doesn't get the same disrespect? It's just not fair, is it? We have to show the same disdain for the Soviet Union as we show for Nazi Germany. In fact, the Soviets have started World War II on the same side as the Nazis. Yep. They have signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Treaty to divide Poland in half. Half would go to Nazi Germany, half would go to the Soviet Union. And this little semi-alliance that they had stood strong all the way until the day that Germany invaded the Soviet Union. And at that point, well, they fought against them. But my friends, this puts the argument that the Soviets were ideologically opposed to the Nazis at rest for good. The Soviets were not ideologically opposed to the Nazis. They were in cahoots. They were besties, they were best buddies for a considerable amount of time. If it were not for the Soviet Union and their provisions of prime materials for Nazi Germany, they would not be nearly as successful in their genocidal war. We have to remember these things. But my friends, once again, I ask you for your aid, and this time it can't be Tommy. This time it can't be Tommy, somebody else. Come here and say a few words, you know, it doesn't have to be much, but say your own thoughts about what you think about this situation and how we can solve this. So do we have any volunteers, my friends? Come on, don't be shy, don't be shy at all. Hands up, anybody who wants to be a volunteer. Let's go, guys, let's go. Does it have to be Alex again? Alex who's done such a great job putting these bin bags over there on top. I am proud to say I was holding Alex's foot as he was putting those bin bags up there.
Can I speak?
Yeah, sure. My MP Tobias
said we should close the skies in March 2020.
Oh, he said we should close the skies in February.
Didn't listen to him.
Okay, but people didn't listen to it.
Parliament didn't listen to him.
The Parliament did not listen. I see.
We should get to have heart with the president.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We should. I mean, the UK, to understand, to an extent, UK is keeping their part in the Budapest Memorandum. Perhaps they're not doing as much as they could have been doing, but the UK is admirable because the UK is doing more than the vast majority of the other countries. You know, when the world, this is a good point, this leads me to a very interesting point. When the world was dragging their feet, when a lot of countries were dragging their feet and saying, oh, you know, sending tanks to Ukraine is too much, the UK sent their challengers. When the world was dragging their feet and saying, oh, you know, long-range missiles, no, that's too much, the UK sent the Storm Shadows.
And we've been training since, was it 2014, 2015?
Since 2014, 2015, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, like the NLAWs and yeah, the javelins from the US, the NLAWs from the many European countries, including UK. Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, my friends. This is what we're here for. Let's just let the people through here. That's right. Would you like to say something, my friend?
Take care.
No problem. Thank you very much.
The only thing I've got to say.
Yeah, let's go.
Slava Ukraina!
Yeah, Slava! Very nice, very nice. That's a very good point, by the way. Very, very, you know.
Direct.
Thank you. Very direct. Very direct. Very direct, my friends. But yeah, my friends, there's a lot that we have to say in this situation, and we must not remain silent when we are spreading this message. So I would like to say, to kind of wrap this up, thank you all very much for coming here. Thank you all for showing your support. I would invite you all to our rallies, and I already said the days, but I will repeat them. We have our rallies at 10 Downing Street on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, on Fridays also at 6 o'clock, and on Sundays tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So please come and show your support. We will have, we always have decent numbers there, decent numbers of people who come there to show support. We have our lovely little tent with all the different things. I bought a very nice poppy in that tent, but unfortunately I lost it, so I have to make do with this paper poppy. But it's pretty good too. It's pretty good too. I like this one too. The message is what really counts, my friends. And if you want to come there and show your support, please do. You will always be welcome in our community. And now, I believe we will go to the Ukrainian community over there to have a drink, have some food. I haven't eaten anything today, the whole day. No breakfast, no lunch, no dinner. Well, dinner, we will have dinner in a bit. For anyone who wants to come with us, my friends. We will wrap up. Thank you very much. And just to end this, Slava Україні! Слава нації! Україна! 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 Героям України тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Ворогам України тричі!
Смерть! Смерть! Смерть!
Смерть, смерть, смерть. It's okay, it's okay.
What about the anthem? Should we sing the anthem?
Okay, let's sing the anthem. Who knows the anthem? Whoever knows. I know Tommy knows it a bit, so come here. No, wait, not yet. Come here. Ah, Tommy, with the singing. You're ruining your angelic voice, man. How are you gonna sing with that? All right, don't worry about it, guys. Let's go. Let's do it together. Ще не вмерла України ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці. Запанує ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. And now, Tommy, your turn. Слава Україні!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть ворогам!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Слава треті!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Ураган треті! Смерть!
Смерть! Смерть! Oh, he remembers, he remembers.
And as for you, get used to the song!
Oh. Thank you very much, my friend, for coming. Thank you very much. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, the Ukrainian community is that direction, in like 15 minutes by foot. It's over there. We're going to the Ukrainian community over there. We can buy some food there or drinks if anyone.